Hello everyone, my name is Vicky, Stitch and Button for those that are new to the channel, and hello and welcome back to those that keep on suffering through with me. I appreciate it. I recently looked and I think I'm almost at 500, so I'm going to have to think of a giveaway for that. It'd be pretty cool. I didn't think I'd ever get there, so hey, must be doing something right. What's today? Today's Wednesday, of course, and it's January 30th. It is 2 days away from February. January, a lot of people, and I agree, think that January has 743 days in it. It feels like it, doesn't it? I think it's recouping from the holidays and the rush of everything, and then it slows down to an abrupt halt, and it's crappy weather most of the time. And yes, Florida has been actually chilly. I know today of all days for me to say that when there's a polar vortex, and a friend of mine posted parts of Nebraska are like minus 28 degrees. No thing. That's a whole bunch of nope going on there. And so it's like, I think it stayed in the 60s today, and it's already getting down towards the 40s tonight. But we're going to be on that upward slope and be back up in the 80s. And I don't want to hear anybody hating on me. Like I told everybody when I was sitting here in the middle of July and it's 125 in the shade with, 750% humidity. Yeah, so I prepay for that. I pay it forward during the summer to have a decent winter and not be cold. Anything under 70, I get chilly, and I'm putting on pants and a jacket. So I have a light sweater on today. And, of course, pants and socks. When I have to put on the socks, I know it's getting cold in Florida. Let's see. I actually did some stitching. I've been keeping pretty busy the past couple of weeks since I last did my video. I sold all the bags that I had, and I ended up having to do more. I've cut out over 30 bags, and I have at least one more to cut out before I really start doing stuff. I started some ironing. I cut a pile of fleece and vinyl. I like to keep it stacked so I can just put everything together. It's a workflow thing for me, my organized chaos. Anyway, so I actually hurt my shoulder last night doing that. I cut out so much that I strained my shoulder, and I was going to iron, and I was like, I can't, not with the shoulder like this, so I stitched, right? Not tons of stitching, but I got some done. Anyway, I did try to get some stitching in done. I had my crafting ADD hit me. After I did the bags, I was like, okay, I want to stitch, and I knew I had to get my I did my model. It's finished. I can't show you. I also did, I finished a piece that was sent along with the model that was already, it was stitched. It was a finished stitch piece, but I had to finish it into a drum. I did that. That has been sent back to the designer, and I can show it or share it, or I don't know. It's hard for me to insert pictures with my phone and stuff, so, but I can let you know what it is, or at least point in the right direction to see what it is after Nashville. It's going to be released. Then after I finished my model, I was like, oh, I could do whatever I feel like. So, of course, I'm still doing my 90-day challenge for Full Coverage Fanatics. That's a hashtag 90-day FCF challenge. I'm pretty sure that's what the hashtag is. If not, it'll be below, because I usually, any hashtags that I may or may not use are going to be below. So I've been keeping up with that, and I thought I was, you try to do it every day. You're tired, you get it all in there, but I'm not one to do just one stitch. But with confetti, I may just do 3 stitches, because I'll put in that color and then I gotta park it somewhere. So that might be that day's work. And I've been keeping up with that, and I thought I was doing good. I'm like, oh, I can see a little bit of progress. And then I started looking at everybody else's, because you have to post on your post in the group for the challenge. I see other people, they're like, oh, look, I finished this page. I'm like, oh, I hate you. Not really, but I'm like, I'm really a slacker. And then I sat back, I'm like, am I really though? I've been cutting out bags. I cut out 30 bags, and that doesn't even count the little accessory bags that I made. I think I have one of those left out of the 5 that I did, and then I have some more cut out. And if you hear a noise, it's my dog underneath the table. Again, Gunner's under there chewing on this little bone thing that he's got. Anyway, so it's not that I'm slacking, it's that I'm all over the place. So I'm not getting a lot done on just one thing. After the model, I turned around and I was like, I want to stitch on something I want to stitch on. Okay, so I have to do my Space Traveler. So boom, pull that out, get my stitches, and I'm like, you know, I don't feel like stitching on this anymore. So I spun the wheel and it stopped on Sail and Remembered. I'm like, okay, I'll do Sail. And then I remembered, Vicky remembered why she's not stitching so much on Sail and Remembered because it's 1/1 on 36 count. And I did that because I didn't have a big enough piece of linen and I really wanted to start it, so I figured, well, I'll do it smaller, and I want to get it done on that. I don't want to start it over on a bigger piece, even though I probably could find a piece. I just want to do it on that. And I know you want to stitch what's enjoyable, but that's what I want to do it on. So I just won't powerhouse throw it all. And case in point, this time I pulled it out, and I finished two letters. And I'll show you my I might as well just show you as I go along as to what I did. Okay, so Space Traveler. I don't have a before picture, but here's what I've gotten done on this. I guess I should show you the original picture, right? Just in case. So that's Space Traveler. It's the mini. I said before I wish I would have got the full size, but that's okay. I got it before it's gone. So right now I'm working up in that upper corner up here. So that's there. I did not fully kit all the threads. I just pulled what I needed right away. So last night I ended up pulling the rest of the threads that I needed. And there's a story to that I'll show you in a little bit. But there are some that I found I don't have or might not have enough of. So I have those on order. So like there's a couple of spots in here I don't have that color, and that's fine because there's enough to work around. And but I got a decent amount done for me with everything that's been going on. And this again is on, I think this is 25 count. So here we are. And I really thought there'd be a lot more black on the outside, but because it's a mini, it's not, which is kind of good, because, you know, you're just filling in dead space with all the black. I'd rather just get to the picture. So that's kind of good, and that's what I'm working on. I think I said it in the last video, I was just filling in, and doing the row and cross-country. Well, then I figured it was kind of slowing me down, so I started parking. Like, I want to get all this in here done. Well, I might have the Krynic, but I ordered it anyway because it doesn't hurt. But that's good. That's what a whole bunch of this is right here. But I'm working around it to get to it at least, and that's what my focus has been, because I want to just sort of fill in the block. This is the end of the page. After these 10 black stitches, there's like 2 other stitches that are a different color. So that's the end of that first page. The bottom of the page is down here, because I think I marked off just that page. Not bad. Could have been better, but like I said, it's not like I wasn't doing anything. I just wasn't stitching on this. So that goes back in the bag. So after I did my Space Traveler, I pulled out my Sail and Remembered. And let me find that one. I don't have the original picture in it. I only have my working copy in this bag. Pretty sure I don't, yeah. But I will show you. You can look it up. It's a primitive needle. It's an out of print one. I forget what fabric this is. This is definitely a 36. I am using, it calls for Silken Colors. I'm using Vicky Clayton Silks on it, 1 strand. And I thought, whew, the dog has gas. Be glad you can't smell this. Oh, Gunnar, you should be ashamed of yourself. He could gag a maggot. Okay. I'm gonna suffer through. I swear it smells like my septic tank just opened up. Oh, God. It's a SBD, silent but deadly. I did these 2 letters. The D and the E. That's all I did when I pulled it out, but it's some kind of, and I can't remember. I think this is a picture of this Plus fabric, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't write it down. I don't know why. But I think you can see that okay. Oh, he's hitting my knee. Very small. What's that? 15 stitches maybe? But it's something. It's further along than when, before I pulled it out of this bag, right? Dust it off and put a couple stitches in. So I did that. Then I didn't spin the wheel again. I was just like, I have all my whips sort of in a stack or standing up next to each other if I can back here. So I try to keep it semi-organized. And I started looking, I was like, oh, you know what? I haven't stitched on One Nation. I don't know if, I think I showed this before, but I'll show it again. My best friend Gina gave me these, I think they're actually pelicans, but we have this thing, and we say mine. So she's like, you have to make us zipper pulls and call them mine. So we did. And I made us both one. Get out. Get out. Sorry. I'm doing a video. Love you. Be good. Don't be a jerk. Okay. That's all I can ask. I tell her she's 13. She's going to her mom's. And she came to pick up a couple of things. I told her not to be a jerk. I do that all the time. As she's getting out to go to school, she always says she's going to try. That's all I can ask. Okay, so where was I? So I pulled out One Nation because I haven't worked on it. And I know, Kat, you finished both of them. Hate you. No, not really. But very proud, actually. And I know that J Long's been working on hers. She's been bored with it. I was like, let me pull out mine. So, what did I finish? I did this half a star, and I did a lot of this blue in here. And then I was like, okay, I don't know what... Well, and I also moved the hoop over. And I think I posted on Instagram using my Bitsy Bob. It's perfect because it's only 3 colors, and it keeps it nice and neat for me. It's in one of my bags. I kept this bag because I went off the seam a little bit. Over here was kind of wonky, so I just said, you know what, I'm not going to redo it. I'm just going to keep it and use it because I have bags I need to be making for myself, but you know, you always leave yourself for last, right? But anyway, so that got worked on. Hey, every little bit helps. And then I said, you know what? Let me see what else I have. And I did Neighbor Ray. I pulled out Neighbor Ray. Neighbor Ray is by the Trilogy. And he's cute. And that's supposed to be, according to in the instructions, that's actually supposed to be a measuring cup. I thought it was supposed to be like a mug anyway. Plus, he's got a spoon. Why would you have a spoon with a measuring cup? Anyway, it's a coffee cup now. When I started him, he had no head. And there was a little bit of border underneath the cup. The sweater was done, the cup was done, and part of here was done. And that night, I stitched on him. I filled in some of this, but it wasn't looking right. The stitches were off, and I think it's because I was going back and forth here, and then when it was down here, I just went up and down, and I hated it. So I put it back. Put it back, and I'll get back to him in a minute. And put him down, and then I worked on Winter Wonderland. Winter Wonderland. That's a Mill Hill kit. Told you, I've worked on like 5 different ones in one night. This is it. Blue's my favorite color, so that really... I'm not putting the bunny in. I think I said that before. I've already taken the bunny out and put that away. And I have all my threads. I got this at the Primset Stitcher Society retreat. It's all strawberry. So I put all my threads on here in the order that they are on the chart thing. That way I know 1, 2, 3, you know, like that. And this came from halfmoonhandworks.com, and I could put that link, and I'll write that down. I'll put the link below. They are, for anybody that's in Pennsylvania, they're located, I believe, in New Cumberland, which is over the bridge from Harrisburg. So, Half Moon. Yeah, you have to, that pregnant pause. It's because I don't have a secretary. Gunnar hasn't learned how to write yet. Anyway, so that's a thread keep from them that was in our bags. So that's what I've got to use something, right? I also, well now, wait, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Oh, it's not going to work. I have that thread keep that Donna Ray sent me, which would be perfect because it's winter. But it's only got, I need glasses. I think it's only got 6 holes. Darn. I could have swapped. I would have swapped it out too. I might do it. I might do it anyway. Because some of these colors, like the whites, are the same. No. I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep it and I'll use it for something else Christmassy. Short story long. So, I worked on the buttons and beads kit for a little bit. And all I did, it looks like I added a bunny. It's the white part of that tree. That's this white tree here that's going to get a whole bunch of beads. And it's 3 strands. I hate working with 3 strands. It's a pain in the butt. But you need the coverage, so you got to do it. So basically I stitched a bunny. I'm just saying it now. And he's got a smile in his belly. So either that's his face and that's his ears, or this is his full body and he's got an extra smile. Use your imagination. Anyway, so that's all I did on that. I know it's going to look really good when I'm done, if I can just get it done. And I'm using these stretcher bars that I bought from Jen. And the whole stitch and caboodle. You can get all kinds of sizes, and they're pretty cheap. I did find, I think I mentioned in my one of my other videos, that I wasn't crazy about using them on linen because it sort of pulls holes, unless it's in an area where you know it's never going to show and you're going to lace it back or whatever, or pin it back that you won't see it. I wouldn't recommend using it on fabric. I didn't like that. I used it on a small piece, but it was out of the way, so I wasn't devastated. And then the last thing, different thing that I worked on anyhow, was Starry Night. This is a Riolas kit that my friend Jay Long and I are doing. Starry Night. Probably saw it a million times, even in school. And there's all kinds of designers that have made a cross-stitch pattern out of it. I sort of messed up, and I'm going to keep it there because you won't be able to tell later, and you can barely tell now. I didn't realize, for some reason I thought I decided to do 1 thread over 1. It's on 14 count. And I thought I decided to do 1 thread because it's like that wool, the wool fibers. I'll show you. I think you've probably seen them, if not, just in case. But they're kind of fuzzy, and they're a little bit thicker than a regular strand. So they give a little bit better coverage. And I thought I was doing 1 over 1, and I made some progress on it, and I was not doing 1 over 1. And you could sort of see it. Okay. So, yeah, you can barely see it anyway. So this is 1 over 1 here, and these are 2 over 1 down here. So you can't really tell. That's why I'm not picking it out. I'm not going backwards on this. It's full coverage. You will never be able to tell it's in the corner. Hey, there's another face. There's a bird. Oh, my imagination's running wild. Anyway, so what I ended up doing was I did a lot of filling. I was like, let me get this filled in. So it's all done. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get all the blocks filled in. And I think I've said before, my plans are is only to do a few columns up. Like I want to fully fill in the 3 columns, and if I happen to go over column 4 and 5 just to finish off a thread, that's fine with me. they do advise that you don't carry over too far because you won't have enough thread. So you can't really do it like you would have had. I don't know where I'd get more thread. And as you can see, I'm getting there. I did some, and oh, I do use needle minders on it. I know some people said they don't use needle minders when they stitch in hand, but on Ada it's so thick, I can use a needle minder on it because it's so stiff and thick. And then I use a little Wonder Clip to keep it rolled up. It works for me. So that's all I got done on that. I've been trying to focus on some of my other pieces now because, you know, I get bored. I know there's some people that love monogamous stitching, but I get bored easy, obviously. I got bored 4 times in one night, at least. So those are the ones I ended up stitching on. The most I've stitched on in the past 2 weeks were Starry Night, no, Space Traveler, and Neighbor Ray, which I'll get back to him now. I finished them. I took out, the next time I worked on, which was like the next day or something, I took out his messed up hiney, and I filled it in correctly, and then I just went from there. I was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead. Now, this is on Belfast Linen's 32 count Belfast Linen Toasted Almond / Amber, because that's what was on it. That's what it said. On here, as you can see, he's supposed to have a spoon, and that's supposed to have lines because it was a measuring cup. That's when I figured out he was a measuring cup. I decided not to put the lines. Instead, I added steam to make it a steaming cup of coffee, because that works better for me. And this was just a blank spot, so I added in the year 2019, and I'll make them into an ornament. That's my plans. They called for Weeks, Gentle Arts, and a crescent color. I subbed out a couple of the colors. The biggest one I subbed out was the Zigzag. I used Fudge Ripple instead of Harvest Basket. It's a green. It worked. And, excuse me. No. Yeah. Excuse me. Okay. And, the white called for Magnolia Blossom from Crescent Colors. That's the other one. I just used B5200. I like the way B5200 pops on the fabric, on the brown colors, so it worked for me. He's done. He needs to be finished, and I know I said I wanted to do a FFO a month. That did not happen this month. It's probably not going to happen the next 28 hours or whatever is left in the next 2 days, so I do have an FFO. Not one of mine, though. My friend Gina, she stitched. I will show you her stitching. It's right here. This, I believe, is... Oh, Gina, help me. Little House Needleworks, and I forget exactly what it's called. But she did this. And I do believe that's 40 count, 1/2. How cute is that? Needless to say, I got the chart off of her. But, that is too adorable. We picked out this fabric to finish it with, and I was going to do a pillow, and then we were like, and we had talked about how we wanted it finished, and I think what I'm going to do now is sort of have it on the side, and I don't even know if I'm going to use this. I have enough of this fabric that I can do whatever I need. So the back is going to be definitely this, because it matches, it pops, it makes the red really pop, because there's a lot of blue in that. And there's going to be a side piece on it. It's going to look cute. So I do have it in the making. I put the backing on it, the fusible on there, and it's with my bag stuff to sew together. It'll be done, Gina. You got time. You're alright. Purchases. That would be next, right? Oh, Starry Night. If you're working on a Starry Night, doesn't matter if it's the realist or anything, and you're on Instagram, go ahead and tag hashtag Starry Night Sal, Starry Night with the 2 R's in it, and so everybody can see what you're doing. Maybe if I see more people working on it and get more done, maybe it'll give me a little incentive to get more done on mine too. Besides beating Jay along, I'm not worried about that. Purchases. I went and ordered, because I saw people were using them, these barrel clasp loops. They're usually advertised as keychain cords or something, and basically it's this barrel, screw barrel. They come straight. You bend it over, there's a screw end on this side, and you just screw it on, and it makes a circle, okay? I bought some, and I love them so much more. I think Gina bought some, too. She got hers in color, I think, and I went cheaper and just bought silver ones, because they'll work also. So this is the size that I got. Now, one good thing with that is, like I said, when I did my threads for Space Traveler, you can daisy chain them. So this is 2 of them. Obviously, it's going to make it twice as long. I thought that was pretty cool. They don't come apart like the hoops do. The hoops, when they, the rings, they get loose and they'll pop apart, and then you have your baggies all over the place and you're all pissed off, and it's just mayhem. Another thing I wanted to show you, since it's a little haul and hints. So I think if you do a search, I'm trying to remember what I searched. I'll have to look it up, and I'll put it in the description below in case you're interested. I know other people have said where they got theirs and stuff like that. I think you can get them on Amazon. You might be able to get them on Etsy. But I'll put in what it's called so you can at least do a search to find them. But yeah, I bought and they weren't that much. They were only a few dollars, so that's not bad. So, and that works better than those rings, I'm telling you. Another thing I saw somebody said they did was they got twist tie. Now you can get twist ties, like a long continuous piece, and it's got a little cutter. I think you usually get them like the hardware stores and stuff. I haven't been able to find any at the dollar store, Dollar General, and I've been saving twist ties for my bags of bread. But how much bread can one eat when they have Victoria Motto coming in? And they're being used because if you notice, if you get Victoria Motto, they've been coming, instead of being wrapped around like gassed or weeks, they've been coming tied. And once you cut that off, it's no longer tied, obviously. There you go. There's your lesson for the day. If you cut it off, it's no longer tied. Captain Obvious flew by the video. You didn't even see him. Once you cut it off, you have to worry about it coming off of the card, then sliding off. I mean, most likely it won't, but it could. And you want to tie it off. Well, what I was doing is I was saving my bread ties, and this one I could chop in half and use, for 2 parts. But since I couldn't find the twist ties, I was at the dollar store. Pipe cleaners. Okay, so they're called chenille stems for the kids, but they really are pipe cleaners. And I saw those, I was like, that works just as well. I don't know about dye or anything. You might get a couple fuzzies, but I don't know that the dye would run. I just thought about that. But I'm going to do it anyway. I'm reckless like that. So just cut off a length and wrap it around once you take off what you need. And then you don't have to worry about it falling off. Of course, you want to make it a little bit tighter. But then you don't have to worry about it falling off, right? Another thing that I think I took this tip from somebody else, and I'm sorry, I'd give credit if I could remember. But I've been putting on my overdyes, like every overdye also, I put a little side hole. That way when I take one length out, I'm not putting it with the big bundle. I take my thread or two off, and then I put it on the side. That way I just keep on pulling from that instead of constantly going back to the original. Little tidbits of information. And none of it's expensive. This, I bought at the dollar store. They have these at the dollar store, the Dollar Tree, so it's literally $1 plus tax. This big pack of pipe cleaners, dollar store, $1 plus tax. So it's affordable. It's a good little hack to know about. So that was part of my purchases and my little, the more you know. And then I'm blaming Pam and Steph, because I'm pretty sure that's exactly where I saw this at. Pam showed that she had to get this Rosewood Manor chart, and we all know Rosewood Manor, their pictures do the pieces no justice. I've seen stuff where I was like, ew, and then when I went to a show and saw the model, I was like, oh my god, I need that chart. So, trust me, the pictures never pick up how great it is or can be. Well, she showed hers, and I started looking at it, and I was like, no, I'm good, because I really don't want to buy anymore, right? Okay, I really shouldn't buy anymore. It's not that I don't want to. And I sat on it for like, not literally, stop, for like 5 days. And then finally I gave in, and I sent Jen a message from the whole Stitching Caboodle. I said, just order me this. I know I'm not going to buy anymore, but order me this. And I bought Seaside Sampler. I don't know if you know that my boyfriend Frank was a Navy SEAL. My nephew was a Navy, was just Navy, and he was on a destroyer. So this would be stitched up eventually and put on my hero wall, because I have all my grandfather's medals. He was Army Master Sergeant. So I think this would be great. It's got stingrays. I may actually change some of the colors too. I don't know. I think I might change some of the colors. Maybe some of the fish might get a couple different colors. Maybe I'll make some Dories and some Nemos. And I just love it. It says, because I'm not sure how well you can read it, it says, then here's to the sailor and here's to the soldier too. Hearts will beat for him upon the waters blue. I just think that's great. There's a whole alphabet in flags. And I got that in. I told you I was shopping for threads for Dorothy. Here's part of what I was getting, what I decided on. We thought it was 2 different color greens. It's actually not 2 different color greens. It's the same color green, but one is a high gloss 8-strand, and it's a treasure braid, and then there's the regular, that's the regular, and then it's a petite treasure braid, and I'm pretty sure they're both the same color. That's for the Emerald City. So I'll decide which one I want to work with. I may just do, let me see. I'm wondering, maybe I can get away with just using the treasure braid 1 strand on that. And then I'm pretty sure this is what I'm going to end up using for her shoes. It's called Nordic Gold Very Fine, stronger than blending filament. I'm looking to see how thick. I would probably need to use 2 strands or pair it up with a strand of DMC, it looks like. So that's going to be her shoes. That's a decision that's been made. I still haven't figured out what fabric, so it's a process. I'm glad I waited and didn't rush into 11s. You see that fabric? It was perfect. And it's like, somebody said you had it all along, and a distracted stitcher did, and I was like, I know, it's like Wizard of Oz. You've had the power all along. So I bought those, and then, of course, you know, you don't just get that. She had this cute chart from Cedar Hill. Cedar Hill is now out of print. They're gone. They're from Wilmington, Ohio. pan stuff, you know anything about that. But they never had any pictures with their charts. But it says 1 for the rook, 1 for the crow, 1 to die, and 1 to grow. And it's called Garden Sampler. And I'll hold it back here so you can get a gist of what, with a glare. I'll hold it back with a glare so you really can't. But it's basically just some flowers and vines with the 2 crows. It's got a checker border around, and it's got a straight border around just this part. Checker border around here, and then the lettering. I think that's cute. I don't know that I'd do 7 and 5 borders on one piece. It would depend on what I decide when I go to stitch it. But got that one. And I had to get some holly because I used what I had. So got some holly. And then Jen was going through and getting rid of, selling off what she had because she doesn't really stock it anymore. Her wildflowers and other threads that she put up there. So I grabbed this one because it's called Java. And it's not all brown. It's got reds and greens in it. You can sort of see. I have no idea what I'm going to use it on. I think that would be cute for a border of some sort. Obviously, you can't, I mean, you can do it on anything, but I think that would look good. And then this one caught my eye, and it's called Witching Hour, so why not, right? It's got purple and orange and green and yellow. It's picking up okay. The yellow is not that bright. It's more of a muted yellow than that. And that it's not showing up purple. It's almost like a cornflower blue / purple in real life. It's almost picking it up, but not quite. And that's my purchases. That is it. Because I told you I was scaling. I don't have the money for it. As much as I'd love to buy all the things, I don't have the money for it. I still am getting the ornament of the month from Crazy Annie's. I just paid for that, and my monthly threads, which you'll see in the next video probably, because I just paid for the one and the other one doesn't get billed till like the 1st or something, or whenever she gets to it. She's always busy. Take a look around. Hope my hair doesn't look that bad. I can't think of anything else. I'll remember 3 more things after we're done. So that is where I'm at. Again, I'm working on bags. There's a couple people that have ordered bags. I have not forgotten you. And they are getting made, and this is why I don't bill before, because I don't want you thinking that you paid for it and I didn't get it done. They're here. Trust me, I've got a stack. I'm getting that done. I did put more stuff up on my Etsy if you guys are interested in some needle minders and stuff. There's some new stuff. I put some new stuff up there, freshened it up a little bit. And I am going to go tonight. Frank is watching the first Harry Potter, which I just watched twice in the past 6 months. So I said, go ahead and do that. I'm going to do my video, and I'll be out to watch the second one and possibly the third one. We're going to do a little binge watching. I have to think of something I want to stitch on or can stitch on out in the living room. The light's not so good, so I'm going to need something not as large with a big setup, you know, that type of thing. But I will go out there and watch my Harry Potter and drink coffee. I've got it in this cup because it's cold out. I know, not freezing. I feel sorry for you guys. There's a whole bunch of note going on. I wouldn't leave the house, personally. I'd get fired. I'm not leaving the house. 26 below, you've got to be. I'd rather stick a flaming pointed stick in my eye than go out and below 26 degrees. There you go. And I'm serious. I would. I'd rather go blind. There's no way. Anyway, so it's been chillier, and I don't want my coffee getting too cold, and these work great. This is, by the way, if you're interested, I don't know the name of it. It's just got a picture of a rhino on it, or a buffalo. It's a buffalo. It's a buffalo. They look like this. You can get them at Walmart. I happen to score a good sale, because, you know, nobody wants to pay retail. You always want to get a good sale. I scored this on Black Friday for half price at $8. And that is, I want to say it's at least 24 ounces of goodness. Oh, no. I lied. This one's got the buffalo on it. I got a 30-ounce one, which is like Arctic, whatever their brand is. It's bigger than this. And that I got for $8. It was normally $16. Frank brought this one home from work. It was a gift. But the other one's even bigger. And they work great. I always thought because of this plastic top they wouldn't work so well. And, no, it works great. The only thing is, of course, you got to watch it doesn't spill. That's why I like my Contigo better for that, because I don't want anything spilling on my stuff. But yes, my coffee is staying warm because it's 50 degrees, and that's cold for me. I don't care. So, I hope everyone is doing well. And if you're not doing well, I hope you have the support that you need. And don't forget, don't let anybody steal your sunshine.